Welcome everyone to one of the most famous cathedrals in all of England. This one was the very first Gothic cathedral to have ever been built. Started construction back in 1174, shortly after the death of Thomas Becket, or the murder of Thomas Becket in 1170. And this is in the beautiful city of Canterbury as well. Only about an hour ride away from London, and very accessible via high-speed train. And it's just gorgeous to see from the outside. So unfortunately, cell phone reception is very poor here in Canterbury, like super poor. So I can't show you the city as I would love to have shown you, because the city is very gorgeous. It has some really quirky old historic buildings. There's like a building that's all crooked. So I'm gonna do short videos instead after I finish this live video. But I want to show you live at least the outside of this cathedral here as I sit in the shade. And if you want to see the story about Thomas Becket, I did it from the inside, and I'll do a short video as well. And then later on, I will be doing a bonus live video at 6 p.m. New York City time. That would be 11 p.m. UK time, and 10 p.m. well, 12 midnight Western European time. Kay says, perfect reception in Kilkenny, hint, hint, hint. Wendy, nice to see you here. Hello, Susie. Yeah, we're back. Bad service changes nothing. Yeah, you know, I came back to England optimistic. I thought to myself, as I cover England one more time, hopefully I'll have good service. And I end up getting Vodafone SIM card, which has 5G. And it was the one that worked best last time I came here after trying 4 different SIM cards. And I'm so excited to come here to Canterbury. But unfortunately, Canterbury, no cell phone reception except this like little spot around the cathedral. Must be God's will that there's good cell phone reception here, but not in the city, and not really anywhere else. So here's the cathedral as I stand still here, sit still. Look at this. Cathedral's gorgeous to walk in. It costs £14 to have access inside. They have tours as well for extra. They have an audio guide as well for extra. And I do recommend it. They are currently rebuilding it, remodeling, which is always necessary for these older cathedrals. B. Chris says, service speed seems to be okay. That's because I'm going live in 360p and I am standing in one place, sitting in one place. That's why cell phone reception is okay. Trust me, I tested walking around the city. It's abysmal. Beautiful cathedral. I love the flying buttresses. You know, this cathedral might not seem as impressive from the outside, but it's truly impressive on the inside. So let me pop a few images that I took. So bear with me. Enjoy the views as I pop up a few images. So here's the candle, a light that never goes out, as the Smiths used to say, that is lit up in honor of St. Thomas Becket, who's a saint in both the Catholic world and the Anglican world. See the previous video for that. There's a little bit closer up on the candle. Here's the high altar. Right behind the high altar, we have the seat of the Archbishop of Canterbury, the leader of Anglicanism. And where the live video went off was seeing these gorgeous stained windows, which are newer, but oh my God, they are gorgeous. B. Chris says, at least the weather is nice. Even at 360p, it's gorgeous, says Susie. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I really recommend if you could come here in person. This has impressed me the most thus far on my trip to Europe. So I didn't go to Notre Dame this time. I've been to Notre Dame before when I came back in 2013. And I did Chartres, or Char, hard to pronounce, but the one in France that I covered. And this one has impressed me the most. Even more impressive than also St. Patrick's Cathedral. I think the cool thing is there's no buildings built around it, so there's light that can fully stream in. So Joanne leaves a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Joanne. All right, everyone, I'm gonna do short videos here in Canterbury, and then I'm gonna do some other place. There's another place I have in mind that has some good cell phone reception. So stay tuned at 6 p.m. New York City time, 11 p.m. UK, 12 midnight Western Europe. I'm gonna do a short, nice live video in some other place. But do you want me to stick around for like 5 more minutes to do a Q&A? Let me know. Happy to answer any questions about traveling. I'm back in England, but I'll be covering countries that I've not covered before. Stay tuned. And then one more announcement. Next week, I'm doing a really cool group trip to a really remote area of Europe. So I won't be able to go live on schedule next Thursday through Friday. So stay tuned for mini lives. I'm gonna do my very best to go live at 9 a.m. New York, 2 p.m. UK, 3 p.m. Western Europe into this group trip. To do my very best to go live at that time. But if I can't, I'm sorry, but there'll be other live videos, mini live videos, if I have cell phone reception, because I'm going somewhere very remote. BB Channel says, where are you? This is Canterbury Cathedral right here in beautiful England. So we are a high-speed train away from London, and it's accessible by a few other different cities. How long are you UK? You just have to tune in. But other countries will be featured as well in this European trip. Wonder if you have plans for the 4th of July, says Texas. That's a great question. I won't be in America for the 4th of July, I can tell you that. So no plans thus far. I don't think I wouldn't be in the country where there's anything involved with America. I won't answer any questions of where I'm going because you have to tune in for the surprise. Thursdays through Saturdays, except next week. Then we'll go back on schedule. But next week I'm going to a very remote area of the world. So that we might not have live stream. Nonetheless, I'll do short videos and maybe other videos. So I won't be answering where I'm going. But feel free to ask anything else. Darn, you will miss the Nathan's hot dog eating contest, says Susie. There are other parts in Europe where they eat hot dogs. So I think in the July 4th, I think I'm going to enjoy a hot dog. I'll tell you that. Justine says, I like your shirt, it's pink. Oh, thank you so much. It's from Scotch and Soda. Was England impromptu, says Q&A. No, I really want to come here to Canterbury. So not impromptu. I plan to come here to Canterbury. The story about this castle is just so, cathedral is so fascinating that I really want to come. Jan says, a big loss, missing the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. Yeah. Don't forget to visit other cities in France, says Adam. Yeah, maybe, stay tuned. This is I'm doing a long trip, 3 months. Plenty of places will be featured. Both old and new. Places you've seen before, places you haven't seen before. Oh, at least on my channel. How do you travel from Paris to England? In my case, I took the Eurostar high speed, and then from the Eurostar I came here, another high speed train called the Southeastern Railroad. Oh, sorry, not railroad. Railroad is a very American term. Rail. Valerie says, "You look awesome." Oh, thank you so much, Valerie. Happy to be here in Canterbury. Beautiful Canterbury. I can't move around too much because no cell phone reception. I think the moment I go down that way, it'll cut out. And towards the city, nothing either. So the Eurostar is a high-speed train that goes from Paris all the way to London in 2 hours and 20 minutes or so. No stops, super high speed, very comfortable. The only downside is that you have to do immigration check, which you have to do the same thing on the airplane. So you just save yourself a little bit less time than the airplane and the hassle of going to the airport. Hey, Robbie says, I was thinking south of France. That's what a lot of people speculated. Hey, Judith, nice to see you here. Welcome. Ron says, admit it, you're avoiding jury duty. You know, funny thing is, Ron, I was actually summoned to jury duty. I've not received any notice yet, but Americans have the ability to delay it by a few months. So I will need to do that because I won't be in America to do jury duty anytime soon. Canterbury is beautiful. You must visit the ducking stool. Ah, Nikki, I'll look into that. The ducking stool. I did not hear about that. Thank you. Susie says, I haven't done jury duty in years. Yeah, I got summoned for the first time because I was lucky enough to raise an income level last year due to my success with freelancing, YouTube, and TikTok. So I finally got called to your jury duty. J Fox says, I also thought south of France. Nope, we're not in the south of France. You can also go to Brussels and Amsterdam from London via Eurostar. Yeah. Yep. I can. I love your Paris trip. The streets are stunning, says Justine. ABX Girl says, maybe Ariel's looking for another country to spend a few months every year. Says ABX Girl. Yeah, you know, part of travel is getting acquainted with different cultures and different vibes. And I really like the vibe of England. It's such a beautiful country. Really, really beautiful country. When I post videos about England, especially on TikTok, I get comments of people saying how much they dislike this country. And I don't get it. I do not get it. This is an immensely beautiful country. But fret not, I'll be going to other places. This is only a brief trip in this area of Europe. European continent. Another weird comment I get on TikTok is a lot of people saying, England is not Europe. Not European Union, but it is indeed in the continent of Europe. B. Chris says, at least you dodged the rail strikes. They're coming back this week. Judith says, they must be trolls. Yes. Do you go shopping in France? Not so much, but Paris had some great clothing stores. Oh, I did go shopping. I got a shirt. I got a authentic 100% French linen shirt, which I can't wait to use. But that's going to be for a very hot summer evening. Maybe when I cover Staten Island, who knows? Ron says, have you been summoned to judge Dancing with the Stars? No, I have not. I'm not avoiding judging Dancing with the Stars. Debbie says, I love Britain. I am British, but don't like British politics. Yeah. I think if you're British, very briefly, let's not get deeper into this topic, but be grateful that your politics are the way they are. Not every country is so lucky. here it is much more civil than many other countries in the world. And as an American, I'm also very grateful that that's the case. It's not the case in many parts of the world. Q&A says, how's the Fry interview? It was really good. I'm so excited. I'm excited for him to release it. I think he said that he's gonna put it out next week. So if people don't know, I partnered up with I collaborated with an amazing tour guide, also live streamer slash vlogger about tours and cities. He covers Paris, a French fry in Paris, and I featured him in a live video of mine, and he's featuring me in a video where he's interviewing me because he does a series called Wine Chats or Coffee Chats, Cafe Chats. So that was really cool. B. Chris says, I didn't realize how good the UK is until I visit other countries. Yes, be immensely grateful if you're from here or if you visited here. And you know what? I've noticed a lot of the people who comment about how much they hate England, a portion of those people are not originally from here. And I'm shocked to see that reaction. You have to stay a night at Mount Saint Michel. I would love to. I want to spend more time in France. France is an awesome place, and there's a lot of other cool things to do. And also, there's good cell phone reception. Unlike here, here I'm in one of the top tourist cities in all of England. Canterbury is top there. It's very popular. I saw the main street filled with tourists. There's no cell phone reception. And yeah, I was able to get cell phone reception in Mount Saint Michel. I was able to get cell phone reception in Santorini. Where else have I been that's very remote? In the countryside of Ireland, like Cliffs of Moher, I had cell phone reception. I had cell phone reception so many far off places that you would not expect cell phone reception. And yet here, nothing. It's so frustrating. Erlind says, what about the women? Thumbs up. Helen says, how are you? Enjoy. Thank you so much. I'm doing well. I'm just doing a Q&A because there's not much cell phone reception here, so I can't walk around. Anacapri is another one. Thank you so much, Ron. I was on top of the mountain in Capri, which is an island off Sorrento in the Naples Bay, and I still had cell phone reception. Blows my mind. B. Chris says, I never liked Vodafone in the UK. You know, last time I came here, I tried 3 other services. Vodafone was the only one that worked. Marina says, great tour. Marianne. Thank you so much, Marianne. I'm so happy you enjoyed the brief look outside of the show it to you a little bit more. Teresa says, I love your trips to Italy and Greece. Wendy says, just send Morse code over here. Colleen says, Ariel, you're looking very dapper. Oh, thank you so much. Guess that link antenna hat. Says to cover England. Yes, I just may need a satellite reception. Erlin says, where are you going to visit Albania? I'm curious about it. You know, ironically, some of those Eastern European countries actually have very good cell phone reception because the cell phone networks are so well built and very modern. So maybe I might consider. Adam says, Malta is another small country. I'm speaking to the camera over here if you don't mind. Yeah. Okay. Okay, no worries.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If you want to speak to the camera, I'm afraid you have to go over there.
All right.
So I'm an old lady and I'd like to sit down.
That's okay. But there's also a lot of chairs over
I know,
there.
well, you go over there then.
All right, touche.
You're young. And you...
Touche. Enjoy the seat. All right, so let me show you a little bit more over here. Ron says, I guess you have signal in that corner. Yes. That was an example of very straightforward British attitude sometimes. Joanne says, "How? I'm curious. How do you? Um, I'm curious. How do you use landlines to call and to communicate? To use a cell phone? Yes.
You'd like to go back again? Again?
No, it's okay. Yeah.
Just out of, I'm an archaeologist,
Oh,
so I
you are?
do know a bit about this sort of thing.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh, that's great. What's one cool, interesting thing that I should mention
What?
about Canterbury Cathedral?
Yeah, it was built by the Normans.
Yes, it was
But
built
at the
by-
time, the Anglo-Saxons were very prescient in this country, and they didn't like the fact. Do you know who the Normans were derived from?
Yes,
they
the
were
Vikings, yeah.
they were Vikings.
Oh, interesting. So they built in their own.
Yeah, absolutely.
Their own style,
this,
yeah.
This was a sort of, this is our statement here.
Mm.
We're going to make sure that this is our statement. And it is beautiful, I do agree with it.
Yes.
But have you looked at Anglo-Saxon archaeology?
Not so much.
No, because it is really interesting,
Yeah.
actually.
Is there any major churches or cathedrals
Yeah,
filmed?
there will be a lot around here.
Which one do you recommend?
They were sort of in combat with each
Right.
other, and most of the small villages have Anglo-Saxon churches.
Mm.
And the Normans built their church; they're huge.
Yeah.
But the Anglo-Saxon churches are much smaller, much less significant in your eyes, probably, but necessarily.
Usually not Gothic.
No,
Either,
they're
yeah.
not Gothic.
I see.
But they were very clever.
Which one do you recommend I visit in this area?
You could go to Fordwich.
Fordwich, okay.
Yeah, Sandwich. Any town ending in wich.
Yeah.
That's a Saxon town.
Okay, wonderful.
It's
Thank
a
you.
Saxon town.
Saxon Town. Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're
I
very
appreciate
welcome.
it. Have a great trip. Sharon says, bless her, she obviously felt bad for her initial reaction. Yeah. It's okay. So, sometimes there are cranky people in the world, but she didn't apologize, but she seemed like she was a little bit guilty. So, Fordwich, there we go. Cool recommendation. And she's an archaeologist. She sounds like the Queen, says Justine. Yeah, has the same accent. Has the same type of diction. Rosemary says, glad you're back in the UK visiting my London home. Oh, yeah. Rosemary, you're from London? That's so cool. Q&A says, not quite as posh. I see, okay. Queen Bee says, you handled that situation very well. Yes. Here's a pro tip when it comes to travel. I think we're still doing good on cell phone reception. It depends on the culture, but sometimes you'll see people who are a bit cranky. Could be for whatever reason. The reason could be completely nonsensical to you, at least. Or in this reason, it could be fairly make sense. The woman was a bit older, and it is an extremely hot day today, at least for UK standards. So it is a bit understandable, but don't take it personally. If the person is cranky, just move on. Just go somewhere else. It's okay. Unless if it's something that you can't really move from. Someone tries to bother you at a restaurant, it's your table, then that there's a limit, of course. But if you can move on, move on. Don't bother giving your energy to something like that. But in this case, she felt a little bit bad, and then she chatted and gave a few suggestions. So that's nice. Sharon says, some elderly people can be a bit short in that heat. Yes. That's why I immediately understood it. I was like, okay, this person probably was walking in the heat for a long while. So you never know what the experience of the other person is as well. You don't know how bad the situation is for that other person. So yeah, let me show you a little bit here from the front. This is really cool. Also, of course, it depends on the culture. Some cultures, they're going to be more straightforward. That might be shocking, even as an American. Not here in Britain. That one was very straightforward for British standards. But in other countries that might be the case, like France, for example. So there used to be other statues here of the apostles, but they were taken down by King Henry VIII. King Henry VIII really hated Catholicism. Luckily, he kept this cathedral. Wendy says, "Can we grab a coffee?" You know, I was thinking of doing a coffee break here. I might need to move on to a different city, so that's why at 11 p.m. I have a cool place in mind. But you know, I went to an amazing cafe called Lasix. Really cool cafe here in Canterbury, but no cell phone reception, and they didn't have Wi-Fi. How old is the church? It started construction in 1170 AD. Janice says she had dry humor. I don't think she was being humorous. That's so much. Rosemary says, luckily you didn't ask a younger person to move. No, Rosemary, you know, the situation was a bit odd because I was sitting at that bench and obviously I'm speaking to the camera, so it's awkward if someone sits next to me. And there's a lot of benches in the shade right here. They're just out of view, but they're right down there. So they're just around the corner. So, oh, can you sit down there? And there's benches here as well. So it's not like there's a lot of empty benches here in the shade, like a lot of them. Deanna says, "Oh, I'm gonna rewatch and see what happened." Oh, this. Yeah, basically what happened was the woman was saying she wanted to sit down. If you want to continue speaking on the camera, you can move to the other bench. Are they cleaning the church exterior or fixing it? I think they're doing a little bit of both because some statues look new. Others seem like they're in terrible disrepair. Susie says that was very rude. Indeed it was. I mean, no, that's why I didn't show the person's face either, so. It's funny, she looked at me as we were speaking, and she was was asking for recommendations. She looked at me kind of expecting me to, you know, point the camera towards her. I was like, oh no. That I won't do. Yeah, as a person who does video, you always gotta be cautious of who you point the camera to. Here we go, better view. Deanna says, wait, you seated and she sat next to you and then wanted you to move. Basically that's the gist of it. She didn't understand I was doing live video, of course, but that was the gist. No worries. No worries. Beat Chris says, you demonstrated good diplomacy skills with that lady. Sometimes health issues can make people cranky. Yes, indeed, yes. Yeah, you have to be aware of that. Also, she's an academic, so you have to be aware about how you talk about history with the academic. Academics, you know, really are set on exactly what they already know. And if you even say something different, it's not going to be a nice conversation. All right, let me see if I can go to the back of the cathedral. Let's try to push the limits a little bit. This live video is a bit not as engaging because at any moment the service can drop. It'll go. Q&A says it's stream jeopardy. Yep, at any moment the service can drop out. So we're playing where we're on the edge. Oh, so many cars. Ron says, I think the lady proved that the live is engaging. Queen Bee says, the tree of the service failing keeps us on the edge of the seat. I'm glad. Deanna says, I see what you mean about the service reception between England and France. Oh yeah, France has won that war. Sequena says, Ariel, mon chéri. Tiger Horse says 360p. It's 2022, goddammit. Tiger Horse is like, why? Tiger Horse, you try to live stream in England. It's a beautiful country. There's only one dude who does it. I have no streams here. Tiger Horse, you give it a try. Let me know. Are you feeling lucky, punk? Oh my god. Ah, cool. Look what we got here. Here we have the Canterbury horse. This horse commemorates the thousands upon thousands, no, more than that, millions of horses that died in World War One. Over 8 million horses died in the First World War, of which many traveled through Kent, which is the county we're in right now. Human and animal life without being over literal, and is presented with dignity, its head bowed in respect and solemnity in this place of quiet contemplation, reflection, and remembrance. The ambitious project is a result of a partnership between Canterbury School of Visual Arts and Canterbury College and Canterbury Cathedral, and collaborative working between students. Wow. That's a beautiful war horse. Yeah, I appreciate that. Clooney says, I'm sorry that lady was so rude. We're all like that in the UK. No. Yeah, trust me, I know. I've already been in the UK plenty. That is an exception. That is a rare occurrence. Wow, beautiful. A lot of school kids here. Wow, these kids are probably a part of the choir. Susie says, it's reminding me of that play called Echoes. Yes, where Daniel Radcliffe bears all in Echoes. War Horse was also a very famous play. Okay, I think we have reached the limit of cell phone Cathedral. Okay, everyone, I have something very important to tell you. Let me know if you see me and hear me. Thank you everyone so much for tuning in to this live video. That was Canterbury. In the future, tuning in. I'll be back tonight for a short bonus live video at 11 p.m. UK time, p.m. New York City time. I'm going to show you something short and sweet here in England. So thank you everyone so much for tuning in, and become a patron. Patreon.com/urbanist to see a full walkthrough exclusive for patrons. Keep being awesome and always keep on exploring. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye. Gotta put on more sunscreen. Beautiful cathedral. Definitely visit. Cheerio.